This is Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of March 27th, 2017. Spring goes into overdrive this week. And even if you're in the southern hemisphere and technically in fall, it's going to feel very much like the new growth spurts of spring are going like crazy in your own life as well. It's happening for everybody. The week starts with a really action-packed, dynamite Aries new moon, which is going to color not just the month, the 28-day period that's starting now, but because it is the first new moon of the spring, I'm betting that we're going to be feeling it for pretty much the season. This one has a complex blend of energies that blasts us into action and to going after things incredibly impulsively, like we have awakened from the dead, like Kundalini is rising, like volcano is erupting within us. And yet, those impulses are tempered by the inclination to do things a bit more step by step, to have awareness of the practicalities of what we're going after, and to actually enjoy the process, enjoy being physical beings, enjoying having a body, leaping into the hunt, pouncing on prey, and then spending time with said prey afterwards. Or maybe just allowing ourselves to have a treat or a snack. This weird blend is due to the current relationship between Venus and Mars. Venus, ruler of our desires, Mars representing how we go after filling our desires. Venus is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Mars is in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. They are in a relationship that's called mutual reception, and when something happens to one of them, the influence also affects the other. So we have fiery, impulsive desires and a more slow, methodical, let me touch it, taste it, feel it approach to actually going after and achieving those desires. This tells me that we're not going to be sitting around having theoretical discussions. This is very much bring it into being. I want to touch it. I want to see it. I want to take it to the bank territory. As this new moon activates us, we are finishing up a month-long, deep-level transformative process that has something to do with our agreements with other people, with our relationship ground rules, with our social compacts, and a very deep-level transformation, rewriting, reconstruction of them. Meaning it's highly probable that you're going to see the impact on certain relationships or on the way you approach your relationships with other people, whatever your foundation is, that you're going to see a big milestone shift in them, tectonic shift, probably for the better. And this ties to something that broke open earlier in the month on the 2nd, or around then to be specific, which opened the door to looking at something a different way, changing the perspective on things, maybe even just having a breakthrough in a certain relationship paradigm, and now there is a deep level rearranging going on because of it. Then on Friday, our communication mode downshifts to the territory that Mars is currently exploring, which is more practical, more mundane, more specific, more let me touch it, taste it, feel it, take it to the bank. This is from Mercury moving into Taurus. Mercury rules how we communicate and how we get around, and Taurus is the first and, let's say, slowest Earth energy in the zodiac. So our hearts are going to be all gung-ho, desire is going to be woohoo, go for it. And a lot of the rest of us is going to say, well, let's take our time. Let's enjoy it. Let's think about this. Let's chew on it. And interestingly, Mercury is going to very soon, next month, go retrograde. So he's just dropping over into Taurus briefly before he does an about face and goes back through Aries. meaning that a lot of things could be slower than slow as a consequence. Additionally, you might have the experience of being suspended in time, which can actually be kind of magical, especially when, over the weekend, Venus, Mars's love, leaves the situation of mutual reception and slides back into Pisces, where she is dreamy and filled with compassion and love and stars in her eyes and gentility and gracefulness. She's putting down her weapons and maybe her track shoes, and instead she's going into mermaid mode, or emo teenage girl mode, or princess in a tower mode, wanting things to come to her, living in fantastical fairy tale way for a while. So sympathy and gentleness and a bit of escapism could very easily slide back into our relationships. For pretty much the next month, Venus is going to turn around on the 15th at 26 Pisces, and it's going to be May before she's back in fiery huntress mode again. What does this mean for mortals down here on Earth? Well, the Aries new moon is going to get us all riled up and excited and have us oriented toward taking all kinds of risks and going after all kinds of targets. And then Venus is going to, by the weekend, slide back into Pisces for more than a month, which will put her back into receptive mode. Look at it as throwing a whole bunch of flaming arrows out and then just sitting back and waiting to find out where they landed. Or shooting off a bunch of flares and then sitting back and waiting to see what comes in response. Get the picture? The homing thought of the week: aim and let go. The song of the week: Jump Into the Fire by Nilsson. And the image of the week is stop action film of a seed being planted in the ground, shooting out roots, shooting up a sprout breaking through, shooting out leaves, shooting out blossoms, in the sun. You'll find more information about this in my forecast for the Aries new moon, which is at empowermentunlimited.net under the Astro-Insight tab. And at my site, you can also sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. Talk to you next week.